So what a final episode for Call of the Night. I mean, I had a feeling this would be a good stopping point just based on how they were setting everything up, but this episode just went out on a bang that leaves you craving more, but just feeling like there was such a declaration of love that you just felt so proud of where Ko ended up by episode 13, looking at the journey that he started out with in episode 1. Of course, they have like a lot of fun details throughout this episode, such as the one vampire who hangs out in that little top of the roof there where they all drink or smoke or do whatever the hell they do as vampires. Turns out to be a guy, and I love how Ko just comes out being like, more or less, you got a cute face, so I mean, it's shocking, but I mean, I can't really say my opinion on being flustered is all that changed. The difference is, like, even with your whole mind control thing, I ain't gonna fall in love with you, I'm gonna make my move on my girl, and I'm like, god damn, this boy's making me proud. I love the callback to, like, the very first interaction they had together when he was buying something from the vending machine, and Nazna pops up and basically does the assertive, like, thrust against the machine and basically says, hey boy, what's going on, sort of a thing. I love how they reversed it here, where she's flustered, she's upset, she doesn't know what she's doing, and seeing the same move used on her, just seeing her melt in the face of that was completely on point and the perfect callback to kind of make that kiss feel warranted. Both of them are just so confused in life. You have a boy growing up trying to figure out what the hell this love concept is, you know, the authorities are now chasing him, and all he knows is, like, he's very much interested in one person more than anyone else, and that's Nazna. For Nazna, who faked the entire idea of knowing what lies were shitty before they met each other, but most importantly, she feels like she's roped someone she cares for into a situation where he's never going to be able to fall in love, and he'll get killed because of that. And that's probably the biggest hurdle on why he can't become a vampire as it stands. But I like the fact that even with the drama that was brought up, or even seeing the other side of the vampirism spectrum, they still decided to commit to my boy saying, that might have scared the shit out of me, that might have made me feel like this isn't the right path for me, but all things considered, this is the girl I want to spend my time with, and that means being a vampire for all eternity. And I gotta respect the drive, I really have to say I respect it. And I like how they even touch upon this episode during the whole meeting within the apartment about how vampires don't really even know a lot about themselves to begin with, so they're like, there's rules, but then there's really no way to enforce them because they don't really know, like, the idea of, like, what's bad tasting blood, what's good tasting blood. It's interesting how in the dark the vampires themselves are, so there's so much about this world that they just don't truly understand. And I think that's why such a violent scene where tables were smashed, and honestly I thought faces were about to be pummeled, could probably end with a more peaceful parting scene because you have someone who just wants to talk about love. Really, she comes across as she just wants to hear the words, I love this boy, or this boy makes me feel all butterflies inside. But Nazna, being Nazna, of course, is a very feisty person who would never admit that, so I think really for her it's more about not beating the shit out of her, but more so beating her emotionally to the point that she would admit, I'm just a little girl who wants to fall in love, sort of a thing. But I love the fact that for an episode that really felt like it ties back to the first episode, where the first episode has a very lonely, wandering boy not knowing where he needs to go in life, and he meets this very powerful vampire with so much charisma, authority. You just get guided, like Ko does, and you say, I want to follow what the hell this vampire is going to show us, right? And in episode 13, they do the reverse, where you have this lonely, wandering girl who just doesn't know what's right or wrong. All that she knows is she wants to keep the boy that she likes safe, and he comes in being the assertive one saying, I'm gonna take you back with me because there's no way in hell I'm gonna let you wander these streets alone. We start episode 1 with a lot of people criticizing Ko for being pretty emotionless or maybe not the most personality-filled character ever, and of course not. He was a loner character. I mean, there's nothing wrong with those types of archetypes. It's just a matter of can the author elevate them to be more interesting than a stick of wood? And ultimately, yes, Ko became a fantastic MC with a natural journey that isn't over in the slightest, but comparing where he started out in episode 1 to where he is now is completely night and day, and the fact that he was the one to be able to help this bubbly, powerful girl come out from the shadows is beautiful to see. The conversation in the apartment with that family and how, like, it was so, like, it felt so indoctrinating, as if, like, they were in love, but it was a very brainwashy situation, and then to just get, like, the casual male reveal to then just the whole conversation where it would have been an easy solution, right? If he becomes a vampire, no one's upset, sort of a thing. But of course, that would ruin the actual relationship that these two are trying to build with each other. But I like the fact that there was an easy option to solve everything. You know, you're confused, should I or shouldn't I? Can I even fall in love? I can brainwash you, everything's good, all's well that ends well. And he still said no, because even if he's confused about whether he does or does not want to be a vampire, all things considered, the thing that he's more sure of is that he wants to fall in love with this girl because of how much she means to him. And I think that really goes to show just the type of character he's grown into, as the production does a hell of a good job with the art style shifts where, you know, some scenes are demonic as hell, other scenes almost feel a little hazy, a little fuzzy, as if you're getting sucked into a brainwashing dream, but just the way they did everything, him jumping over the bridge when the cops were coming to him, how do you not get chills when he's just like, he feels like he's grown tenfold in such a short amount of time, but still feels like he still has so much further left to go, sort of a thing. I mean, Call of the Night started out as one of the most visually striking shows of the year. Its first episode, I think, blew pretty much everyone away. It's hard not to be like, holy shit, I need to see at least visually where this show goes. And for a pretty slow burn, like the first 4 or 5 episodes, very cool, calm, and collected. Not that explosive, it's just a slice of life, but I enjoyed that. But once the momentum started going, more side characters got introduced, the story started opening up the whole vampire side of things, and to no shocker, I think most of us, when the real horror kicked in, that was what took it to the next level. You know, it bumped up quite a bit around the midway point, but the last few episodes just skyrocketed into another class. And it's no surprise that people want more anime, whether manga readers or anime originals like myself. But the thing is this is a great stopping point. It feels like one journey has kind of come to an end. The first journey, that being Ko's inability to really put his foot down and figure out what he wants in life. And this feels like the first time he's truly said, this is what I want, with confidence. He's not just saying, I kind of want to fall in love, or I'm interested in what the whole concept of love is, or I guess I could be a vampire. He's seen the good, he's seen the absolute worst, and he decided with confidence that this is what he wants. No one can change his mind, not even Nazuna. And I love the fact that they both feel like they can help the other open up, grow, and evolve, and figure out how to not live a boring life. And I think that really goes a long way to turn a show that could have just been a visually striking show of the season into something that had great character moments. The story actually got rather interesting the more the vampire world opened up, and everything about the production just screamed pure quality. I really hope we get to see more anime to this degree in quality, not something that's a rush job or anything, but something that comes back swinging and makes it feel just as good as its first season, if not better. But if this is all we get for some reason or another, goddamn was this a memorable experience for sure, and I'm glad that I got to witness Ko actually grow to this degree. But thoughts and feelings and ideas on what you'd love to see in a season 2, do let me know down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're new around here. Till next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.